What up, YouTube? What up, Facebook? What up, Twitter? It's your girl, Miss Shaw. I'm back at it again with another video blog. I wanted to explain a little bit about what Wigs Weave Fashion has been up to. You can check out my website at www.wigsweavefashion.com. We sell hair weft, braiding hair, 100% human hair, regular beauty supply store hair, Peruvian hair, Malaysian hair, Indian hair, Brazilian hair, synthetic hair, blend hair, you name it. I probably said that twice, but if I didn't, okay. Um, Let me get straight to it. Okay, wanted to answer some of the questions that's been in my inbox. A lot of people wanted to know where do I get, my hair from, where do I get my supplier. I'm a hair supplier, so if you're interested in purchasing hair from me, you can call me. My cell phone number is area code 434-806-6717. You can email me at missshaw009@yahoo.com. All the links will be listed below so that you won't have any trouble finding me. Let's get right to it. Okay. A lot of people think they can just get a couple of boxes of hair and money will just fall into their lap. It doesn't happen that way. Just like any other business, it takes time. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years now, steady, and it doesn't happen overnight. Overnight success is rare. I mean, it can happen, but I don't want to make any promises. I'm just now building steady people, as far as steady people calling every week, and it's just taken 2 years to do that. So don't quit your day job. Not just yet, anyway. I'm still working my 9 to 5. Until I can get that steady foundation where the money is just coming in back to back. And if I'm making equal or more as far as the income, I'm gonna still have to work my 9 to 5. But I'm trying to do this full time, and you just have to be persistent. You have to keep advertising. You have to keep pushing. You have to have a website. I go through Vistaprint to get my website. Um, a lot of people have people or friends or relatives that can create you a permanent website, and that's fine too. Get you some business cards. If you don't want to give out your personal number, you can go through Ring Central. That's one of the sites I used to go through with my 800 number, but I found that everybody just, pretty much kept calling or wanting my cell phone number, and I just, went away with that 800 number. But if you don't want anybody to have your 800, your cell phone number, you can order an 800 number, and all the calls will just be forwarded directly to your cell phone. Advertise on social media sites. I mean, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you can blog, like what I'm doing now, video blogging. You can blog on YouTube, you can type, write your blogs on your website. All of that helps. And you can also advertise on Craigslist. Let me tell you about Craigslist. It's a bunch of nuts out there. Let's keep it real. Um, I haven't had any problems with Craigslist personally, but I've heard stories. And when you're doing business on Craigslist and you're meeting somebody, you don't know who you're about to meet as far as getting that transaction done. Just always meet in a public place like a grocery store, a mall, or something like that. If you're by yourself, if somebody's willing to go with you, that's fine too. Just play it safe. Um, but Craigslist, I get a lot of business on Craigslist, so that's another site that I advertise on as well. And a lot of people that opened up a business in the Staten area have came to me and bought hair from me wholesale. Another situation that I wanted to share with you is that I didn't know. As long as I've been wearing hair extensions, I did not know that people could be allergic to hair. And that's true. I mean, it's nothing, it's not a scare or anything. It doesn't happen to everybody. It's just rare. And some people have very sensitive skin. Unfortunately, we don't have any control over the chemicals that we put in the hair. We don't know what the manufacturer has put in the hair, and maybe, your skin doesn't tolerate it. In that case, if it's your first time wearing extensions, I strongly suggest that you might take just one track and either sew it or glue it on your scalp and just test it out for like 3 to 4 days. And if you don't see any reaction, then you know that everything If you don't see any reaction, then you know that everything should be fine. Um, basically you can go ahead and just, go ahead and put in a full sew in and just go ahead and do it. Now, if you're trying out virgin hair or like Remy hair, Brazilian or Peruvian, I strongly suggest that you co-wash the hair as well before you install it. Little things like that will help. So that's just some of the tips, for people that really have a sensitive scalp or sensitive skin. Um, and when you're selling Remy hair, one of the things that you have to remember is you have to know your grams. You have to know the difference between virgin and, like processed or unprocessed hair. Virgin hair is hair that's never been chemically treated. It's just raw hair, hasn't been colored, hasn't been dyed, nothing's been done to it. So therefore, you should be able to bleach that type of hair. You should be able to dye it, and so forth. Processed hair, it's still 100% human hair. And you may still be able to dye it because you can still dye 100% beauty supply store hair too, as long as it's 100% human hair. But you probably won't be able to bleach it though. And so that's one of the factors that, is very important when you're describing, what you're selling people, because one of the questions that they're going to ask you is this virgin hair or is this unprocessed hair? Can I bleach this? Those are the questions that you're going to get. When you get your hair, it's very important. I don't care what the suppliers say. It's very important that you test the hair yourself and make sure that it dyes and that it bleaches and everything that that supplier told you. Even with me, you know, when at the very beginning, I didn't give it a thought to really test the hair and make sure that it, I just listened to the supplier. I was like, oh, okay, it dyes or whatever. Until I came across a situation where, I told this lady that the hair bleaches because that's what I thought it did, and I didn't test it. And guess what? It didn't bleach, it didn't dye, and she was very disappointed, and I had to give her a refund. And I mean, she was fine with the fact that I gave her the refund, and everything's good now. But you don't want that to continue to happen. You have to really know that that hair really bleaches and dyes, or it could be a problem. People will be unhappy and they won't come back to you. So, always you're gonna make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of business. You are, but the important thing is that you learn from them and you don't ignore that customer. You do whatever you can to fix that problem and fix it fast so that they can continue to come back. And that's all. And sometimes you do have people that may try to get over, you know. And that's where you just have to have. These are two examples of the fact that you just have to have a disclaimer on your website and explain to people, we don't have any control over, if you have a reaction to a certain type of hair, and our return policy. You have to have a return policy and explain to that person what your policy is. Put all your cards on the table, and you won't have any problems. Um, of course, if somebody, they buy some hair and then they come back and they say, well, I want this color. I changed my mind, and they haven't used it or opened it. Of course, you can exchange it. You can do that at the regular beauty supply stores. But when hair has been opened and used, and then 2 and 3 weeks later they come back, oh, this hair doesn't do this, and this hair doesn't do that, and can I get some more hair in the place of it, and it's already been used? At that point, it's nothing that we can do. We can't give you a refund, or you can't exchange the hair because the hair has been used, and you have to have that policy in store right before you make that transaction so that they'll know right off top, where you stand. Um, but it just all depends. You just have to read between the lines and make a good decision. Um, And another thing is, as far as the grams, getting back to the grams, sometimes people sell like 50 grams, 100 grams of hair. One of the examples that I have here, this is the Peruvian hair. This is color 27. Um, And this is 100 grams. This is 20 inch. Let me put it against my face. Be the Beyonce. Beyonce. No. um, but 20 grams. I mean, 100 grams. There we go. Now, it takes 4 of these to do a full head. And anything that's 20 inches or longer is going to take at least 4 bundles to do a full head. If you got a big head like mine, you got a big head like mine, you're going to need 4 of these. And, of course, if you have like 16 inch and 12 inch hair and 14 inch hair, which is shorter than this, just 3 bundles should be enough for a full head. And sometimes people sell 50 grams of hair, which is less than this 100-gram hair. You would actually have to use 8 of these if this was 50-gram hair. So, that's why it's very important to know your grams, because you don't want to, sell it to a person and then, they ask you, oh, is this enough for a full head? And you're like, yeah, it is. And you only have like 50 grams of hair, and, they won't be able to finish their hairdo and they'll be irritated. So that's why it's very important to know your grams and, tell them, hey, this is 50 grams, so you have to use 2 of these instead of 1, or you have to use 8 of these instead of 4. Um, and another thing I wanted to show you, this is regular beauty supply store hair. This is hair weft. And this is just the regular, this is 100% human hair. It's color 144. It's very pretty hair. It's like a Jerry curl type of curl. And we also have Indian hair. This is the loose wave. And this is virgin hair. You can dye this. I've actually tested this hair here. I believe that this is 14 inch. And we also have the Brazilian natural straight. This is a color 33. And this is 20 inch right here. And this is 100 grams. So all of my hair is 100 grams. I just try to sell it at 100 grams. And this is what you call blend hair. And this is a deep wave. This is 12 inch. And this is the hair that I'm talking about. Yeah, it's very important to explain to your customer that this is not all 100% human hair. Still pretty hair. People still wear blend hair, but you have to make sure that you tell your customer that it's blend hair. And people still buy it. It's not that somebody's gonna be like, oh, I don't want it because it's blend hair, but some people still like that. I like blend hair. And sometimes I've seen some blend hair that's even better than the 100% human hair, or lasts just as long. So don't sleep on the blend hair. I'm just trying to think of a couple of other things. But like I said, if you don't want to get hair through me, you can Google wholesale suppliers. You can go through AliExpress, DHgate. There's a lot of companies out there that do hair or that sell hair wholesale. It's just to make sure that you're really getting what they tell you that you're getting. Test the hair, curl it, dye it, bleach it, or whatever you have to do to make sure that that's good quality hair. I also have a video of the burn test. If you don't know what that is, that's a test where you can tell whether your hair is 100% human hair or whether it's blend hair mixed with synthetic fibers. So if you're curious to know about that, check out that video, www.wigsweetfashion.com. But the sample packs usually cost like $30, maybe $40, but I'd rather spend $30, $40 than $2,000, $3,000 on hair that's no good, simply because you just jumped the rope too fast and you didn't take the time to just test it first. Always test your hair before you sell it. When I first started out, I didn't test it because I guess I just thought, oh, if they tell me that it does this, then I believe them. But on the experience that I've had, it's just best to just test it just to double check and make sure that it's the type of hair that your customer is asking for. And you can also show them, you know, you can tell them, you know, here I dyed this piece and I used 40 developer and the bleach, and it took this long for it to dye. Just show it to them. Show them how it dyes. Um, but yeah, always ask for a sample pack. If they say, "Oh, we don't sell sample packs," I wouldn't even want to deal with that supplier. You know, I wouldn't even want to deal with them because they should want to make sure that you get nothing but the best. Um, Trying to make sure and I'm covering everything that I need to tell you. I think that's basically it as far as today's video. But I have a lot more blogs coming up, so just be on the lookout, and I will talk to you later. What up, you?